Okay, it's a quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. So today's video is a very quick one, just to bang on a little bit about the NHS. So the reason for this is essentially that I got a letter a couple of days ago. The letter is one that's inviting me, fantastic to be invited, to get my hernia sorted out. Finally, after almost 18 months, and in fact almost 2 years since I originally raised the issue, since I originally got the hernia, went to see my GP, got referred to the hospital, got turned away, went back, got put on a list after persisting with them, got bumped from that list, and then got put on another list. And each list has been about 9 months. So it's been about 2 years waiting to have an operation that's basically a 30-minute operation. It's very minor. They do most of the time knock you out for it. So I'll be under general. It's quite early in the morning as well. But I'll be there probably for about 2 hours, 3 at the very most. They can even do it under local. I think if you've got a heart condition or you don't do well under anaesthetic for other reasons, they can do it under local. I'd probably prefer that, to be honest. I don't like the idea of being knocked out. But there you go. So I am going to get my hernia done. So praise little baby Jesus for that and everything else. I am annoyed that it's taken so long to sort out, and I'm annoyed at the fact that all the while that I've been waiting, and bearing in mind I've been on holiday to Turkey since then and had dental work done, I literally could have just paid to have this done in Turkey if I could have afforded it. But I'm annoyed that my taxes for the last 2 years, my NI contributions, and wherever else the NHS pull money from, has been going to not sort my treatment out. Now, I appreciate that none of this is the fault of NHS workers. None of this is the fault of hospital staff. None of this is the fault of anybody at the GP's office or people that I've spoken to. They're dealing with red tape and crap that's probably just showering on them from multiple different directions, whether it's government and MPs repurposing funds and robbing money away from their organisation, or whether it's dealing with an absolute cascade of illegals that are coming in, burdening the system, whatever it might be. It's not their fault that this has happened, but somebody's to blame, and that person does need a kick in the ass. However, it did raise another issue, and it was announced on Facebook of all places, so it must be true. But the hospital that I'm going to, they announced quite publicly on Facebook that their parking charges have gone up as of yesterday. So as of yesterday, parking fees are now £4.50 for every 2 hours. So that's mental. Now, I appreciate in my position, I'm just angry that I've waited so long and I've now got to pay parking on top. It just pees me off. But let's think about this from another point of view. I know that when I've been to A&E before, when I've had a broken finger, when I've done stuff to damage my elbows, doing Thai boxing and all the rest of it, I've been in A&E waiting very often in excess for 6 hours. And I think one time it was actually almost 10 hours before I got seen. Then I saw somebody for about 5 minutes. They dumped me back in the waiting area. And then it was about another 3 hours. And then I got called in. So I was there say just over half a day. It was a long old shift for me that day. That parking charge, you imagine that, £4.50 in 2 hour increments. That's like 30 quid almost, 30 quid pretty much for parking. It seems like that is crookery. And I'm not saying that we should get parking for free. I mean, the hospital, yes, they have to make money and everything else. I agree with paying some kind of parking fee. Otherwise, you'd get people just dumping their cars there to go and walk their dogs. You do get idiots like that. I agree fully that the money that's taken from anything involving parking, the government shouldn't touch any of it. That should go directly to the coffers of the hospital where the car park is situated. And if the government are sticking their hand in their pot, or there's a private parking company pulling money from that, that's bang out of order. They need to literally give their heads a wobble and have a serious think about where their moral compass is pointed. But yeah, so it's annoying, and it made me think about other other industries, other areas where this is happening. And I know I've gone on about supermarkets before, and shrinkflation and greedflation and all the rest of it, where, you know, products are getting smaller, prices are getting higher and all the rest of that. I did actually speak to a friend online the other day, and he is pretty high up, shall we say. He's basically sea level in a major UK supermarket. And he told me, in no uncertain terms, so this is true, that they use dynamic pricing algorithms. They actually use AI right now. They use AI. I don't know what AI, but they use AI to have worked out a dynamic pricing algorithm, looking at when products have sold, the intervals at which they're selling, and the periods in the year when they sell the most, to raise prices during periods of peak demand. And I've suspected, and I guess it's been known also, that fuel companies have done this for a very long time. Fuel companies always used to put the prices up just before a bank holiday, whether the price of petrol or diesel or whatever had gone up or not. But I'm surprised now to understand that supermarkets are now using AI. I mean, in actual fact, maybe I'm not surprised. Maybe that's just the way that things are going to be going. But that's something else, isn't it? That is something else. But getting back to the NHS, it's now made me wonder if fuel companies are doing this, and if supermarkets are definitely doing this, and they're using AI to manufacture the algorithm to then produce the result to increase their income. Can't hospitals do something like this to allocate more staff during peak periods of A&E kind of overload? I mean, surely there must be some kind of algorithm that you can get, even from something like ChatGPT or Perplexity, that could unwrinkle a lot of the issues that doctors' surgeries face, that clinics face, and that hospitals face. There must be something out there that can do that. I mean, ChatGPT can probably do it if you put the right prompt in. Very often with AI, it's not kind of what you ask for; it's how you ask for it. But yeah, it just struck me as odd that I've not heard any hide nor hair, if you like. Hide nor hair. I've not heard any hide nor hair of hospitals or the NHS using AI in any capacity. And I think they're missing a trick. I think, in my humble opinion, that if the NHS were to adopt a sensible AI system or use it in a sensible way, that perhaps it really could cut down on waiting times. Perhaps it could predict times of overload, which would enable them to put more staff on, and perhaps then take those staff off during times when they're not needed. Maybe if they've got loads of staff on overnight and those people are paid additional money for doing perhaps not a lot, maybe they could just be redirected to other times. Maybe that would save the NHS a bit of cash, and use their time, more productively when it can do more good. Food for thought. So look, I've waffled a bit. There you go, story of my life. What are your thoughts on this? Drop it in the comments. So YouTube's going to put another video probably somewhere about there. I'm going to go and die in the heat because it is absolutely baking out there. And I'm going to get back to my lovely 9 to 5 shortly after that. Goldman, peace out.